ड्रामा ऑफ लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ। तो हमने देखा कि किस प्रकार से विद्यापति ने श्री इंद्रद्युम्न महाराज को हिलाद्री लेके गए और लेकिन वे बहुत ही निराश हो गए जब वे मंदिर पहुंचे और देखे कि नील माधव जो है भगवान नहीं है वहाँ उपस्थित। तो वे बहुत दुखी हो गए और उनको लगा कि हाँ, ये जरूर वो विश्वासु का ही काम होगा और कि उन्होंने अभी, क्योंकि वे जानते थे कि भगवान मेरे पास रहना चाहते हैं, उन्होंने उसको ले लिया है। तो देखते हैं क्या होता है आगे आज के इस एपिसोड में। सो ओवर टू द डायरेक्टर अनूप माता जी। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. We start the fourth act of the drama of Lord Jagannath. The act's name is The Commandment. And Indradum and Vidyapati enter.
We are approaching the Shabara's village. See, here is the road that forms its perimeter.
My friend, even had we missed the road, the terrible stench that chokes the air itself a most explicit boundary. This putrid, reeking smell turns my stomach.
The Shabaras are not exactly famous for their refinement. I once counted more pigs than people in the village.
He must raise flies as well. My dear Vidyapati, I never knew you had married into such opulence. How many swine did you receive as dowry? Indeed, due to your Brahminical tolerance, you have become a wealthy man. And just see, your quickened pace reveals the eagerness of a newlywed.
Enjoy your laughter, if you will. Soon you shall see the proof of my Brahminical strength. As an ugly worm emerges from its cocoon, a beautiful butterfly, so my good wife, Lalita, though a Shabari by birth, has developed all refinements of the twice born. Listen. Do you hear that lovely singing from within these courtyard walls? That's Lalita's voice, without a doubt. She must be tending to her daily chores.
Jaya Radha Neelamadhav Giridhari, Jaya Radha Neelamadhav Govinda Hari, Jaya
I'll have a little fun with her.
Vidyapati reaches down as if to pick up some nuts and throws them over the wall one by one.
Jaya Radha Neelamadhav Govinda Hari, Jaya Radha Neelamadhav Govinda Hari, Govinda Hari.
I'll have a little fun with her.
Govinda Hari Neelamadhava Govinda Hari.
Vidyapati reaches down as if to pick up some nuts and throws them over the wall one by one.
Just see.
Just see what becomes of your Brahminical gravity. Why, my dear Vidyapati, you are behaving just like a fresh youth in love.
Those pesky... Oh.
Hey! Those pesky monkeys playing tricks again? Ha! Making a mess. Just hear them now. Just hear them now. Knocking on the door like some respectable visitor. Well, I'll show him a few tricks of my own. Hey!
Lalita walks over, flings open the door and comes down with her broom on Vidyapati's head, to the great pleasure of Indradum and embarrassment of Vidyapati. Seeing that it is her husband, she is swatted. She drops the broom and gasps in disbelief.
A butterfly.
Is this a proper greeting for a beloved husband?
No, I thought you were a monkey.
Monkey, first you thrash me with your broom, and now you abuse me with ill names?
A royal reception indeed.
Oh, my husband, please forgive me.
Never mind, never mind. Stand up. I have returned true to my word, and this time not alone. My dear, please offer your respects to the emperor himself, Maharaja Indradyumna.
Pranam.
The king of monkeys.
Now, seriously, is your father home? The emperor wishes to meet him.
Yes, he hasn't been going out much lately.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I don't know. He seems ill, but he won't say what's wrong. The other day, his whole body started trembling. He fell on the ground and was foaming in the mouth. Other times, he's feverish and just lies in his bed, breathing really heavily. Whenever I try to help him, he just gets angry with me.
Lalita, who's there?
Oh, Vidyapati's returned with a very special guest.
Let me deal with him.
Vishavasu enters, stopping just in front of the curtain. Vidyapati rushes over to greet him with artificial enthusiasm.
My dear father-in-law, it's so nice to see you.
As Vidyapati shakes Vishavasu's hand with both of his, Vishavasu moves his arm mechanically. Tight-lipped, he stares beyond Vidyapati, his eyes fixed on the king. Vidyapati, seeing Vishavasu unresponsive, leads him over to the king and speaks.
Please allow me to introduce His Majesty Maharaja Indradyumna, Emperor of the world.
I was expecting your visit sooner.
Maharaja Indradyumna, descendant of Surya's glorious race, is touring the earth, ridding her of all insubordinate miscreants. Out of affection, he has interrupted his travels to show special honor to our family.
Our family? Perhaps you have forgotten that we subsist by raising pigs. We are untouchables. Why contaminate His Majesty with our presence? Or are we the insubordinates he wishes to subdue?
Not at all. The kings of Avantipura and the priestly members of Vidyapati's family have been on intimate terms for generations. I have looked forward very much to this meeting. Besides, I find this simple setting a pleasant contrast to the opulence of a palace life.
Whether standing in such a filthy place provides an interesting change, I can't say. But to be stuck here for one whole life is certainly no picnic. Anyway, if our poverty is entertaining, then at least we are rendered a little service.
Your son-in-law speaks highly of your saintly qualities.
My son-in-law is so clever. He will convince the washerman Bringas is a great philosopher. Don't believe a word he says.
I described how magnanimous you were for giving me your daughter, though she alone tended to all your needs, and most of all, I related to the king in detail your intimate relationship with Lord Neel Madhav.
Just see, where is the fault in this Brahmana's word?
His words are sweet, but like a war alluring smile. They hide a cheating heart.
Father, don't speak like that.
No. It's not as you think, dear girl. What he meant was a Brahmana, by his sweet but truthful speech, relieves one of one's material attachment, just as a prostitute, by fully satisfying her client, cheats him of his lusty feelings.
I don't know what my material attachments are. But what name should I give one who steals away the object of my spiritual attachment? And what punishment does he deserve?
Hold on. Isn't it I who should be asking these questions of you?
You may be learned in Vedas, and no doubt you have unlimited power and wealth. You think you can purchase God with this, just as you got that garland? But it's completely indifferent to all your allurements. What's the value of your puny wealth and knowledge? Nothing. Nothing. He will never, ever be yours. Do you hear me? He's gone. Gone because of you.
Enough! Yuddhavira! Yuddhavira!
Yuddhavira enters with 2 soldiers rushing in.
Arrest him!
Ah,
As 2 soldiers grab Vishavasu by the arms, Yuddhavira unsheathes his sword, making Lalita shriek.
what is this? You low-class Chandala? How dare you shout at the royal monarch?
Check your wrath, valiant Yuddhavira.
Is he drunk with wine?
Unfortunately, no.
Then I am to tolerate this insult? What use this weapon and these mighty arms if in their presence irreligion can arrogantly stand?
Patience, dear sir. Now, I ask you, Vishwavasu, in the name of Vishnu, where have you hidden Neelamada? Answer me! So, you will not admit to this heinous act? Yuddhavira, have this village surrounded, seize every grown man and have him tied up. Then search every home. Allow no one to leave, neither man, women, or child. You want to know the punishment for stealing the object of one's spiritual attachment? Well, now you shall find out firsthand. Take him away.
Yuddhavira leaves, sword still in hand, holding Vishavasu by the collar. The 2 soldiers assist Yuddhavira in restraining Vishavasu. Lalita weeps.
Father!
Vidyapati, please comfort your wife. Better take her inside.
Vidyapati leaves, leading his wife. Indradyumna paces back and forth, deep in thought.
My lord, where are you? My mind reels at the thought of what this Shabara has done. At the outset, I should have come to Niladri myself, but instead, I attended personally to lesser matters and engaged others to find you, who are the goal of my life. Now, just see the result. But then, my life had been a dreary chronicle of worldly affairs. It is better that I sent Vidyapati, for the Brahmanas are more dear to you than all others. The fact is, no one can move you against your will. Of that, I am certain. But does it mean you wish to be worshipped by this Shabara king? Is his desire more intense than mine? Has he bound you by devotion, not by force?
Yudhavira enters.
Your Majesty,
Yes,
we have searched every Shabara's house, but the deity is nowhere to be found.
and their king? What does he say?
Like a dumb man, he maintains stony silence, strangely calm and indifferent amid all the tumult.
Only moments ago, this Shabara was neither dumb nor dull. Now he withdraws into himself like a tortoise tucking its limbs within. His tolerance befits a great sage, not a swineherd. Are his thoughts sublime or merely debased? If only I could read his mind.
Well, I'll soon find out how hard his stony shell is. I'll chisel away at his fortitude until he cracks, using my sword like a miner his pickaxe. I'll break away his beard, crusty shell, until he finally tells where he is hidden Lord Neelamadhav. I assure you, Your Majesty, you won't have to wait much longer.
Yudhavira leaves.
I wish it had not come to this. I have followed Vidyapati's counsel, but all else has failed.
राधिका रमन बोलो राधिका रमन बोलो राधिका रमन.
What is that? Ah, it's the venerable sage Narad Muni.
O Indradyumna,
My lord, you have come in a most timely way. For the disappearance of Srila Neelamadhav has plunged me into an ocean of anxiety.
O Indradyumna, O virtuous one, be pacified. The Siddhas, Rishis, and demigods of the higher worlds have all heard of your exalted devotion and wish you will. Therefore, please be free of all anxiety. You should know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally exists beyond the influence of this material energy. Under the illusion of his spiritual potency, Yog Maya, you are now in anxiety that some harm has come to him, exactly as an ordinary servant worries for the welfare of his beloved master. Dear Indradyumna, the Supreme Lord controls the three worlds, and even the greatest demigods obey his orders. What is the question of any harm coming to him? The Lord has left here for reasons of his own. So you need not punish the Shabras. They are innocent. And their leader, Vishwavasu, is as great a devotee of the Lord as you. Despite your ardent desire to see him, the Lord will no longer be visible to you in his Neelmada form.
What? Never again?
Never. Now compose yourself and listen attentively, for I have come to tell you of the Lord's desire.
I am listening with full submission.
Construct a magnificent temple upon this sacred mountain of Niladri. Then, just to please you, the Lord will appear in an extraordinary form carved from a wooden log. He will be known as Jagannath and shower benedictions upon the entire world. Have you understood?
My dear sage, your words have spared not only the Shabra's life, but my own life as well. On the horizon of the sea of despair, hope again lifts its eager face, like the sun rising after a long stormy night.
When the temple is complete, I shall return and take you to the abode of Lord Brahma, the creator. We shall invite him to personally inaugurate the temple worship. Now I must go. Radhika Ramana bolo Radhika Raman. Radhika Ramana bolo Radhika Raman.
Narad Muni leaves as Indradumna offers obeisances.
I must stop Yuddhavira. Jai Sheela!
Your Majesty, you called?
Have Yuddhavira bring the Sabara king here at once and send Vidyapati as well.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Jaishila exits and Vidyapati enters.
My dear friend, I almost committed a great sin.
That could only be in
ये हिंद
regard
काटते
to
हैं
my father-in-law. Has the DT been found?
Yes and no.
Vidyapati looks quizzically at Indradumna. Jaishila enters, followed by Vishavasu, with hands bound together and Yudhavira following in the rear.
Yuddhavira, your sword.
Please, let me handle this.
Your sword!
Yudhavira reluctantly hands Indradumna the sword. Indradumna cuts the bonds, freeing Vishavasu.
I don't understand.
There are many things you don't understand.
Jai Sheela, release all the Sabras and give each of them 100 gold coins. Tell them that Indradyumna, king of Avantipura, out of esteem for their king and as compensation for whatever trouble he has caused them, offers this small gift in hopes that they will be satisfied.
Is there anything further?
Yes, tell them there is no way to measure their good fortune. For the Lord of the universe, the supreme creator of all the worlds, has declared that he will soon manifest himself in a special form made of wood to accept the worship of all people of the world, and that a great temple will be constructed here at Niladri.
Jaishila leaves.
Vishwavasu, dear sir, I beg your forgiveness. Out of desperation to find Lord Neelamadhav, I wrongly blamed you. As you well know, there is no greater pain than being separated from the Lord. I was just visited by Sri Narad Muni, the sage of the demigods. He praised your exalted devotion for the Lord. Now I realize that your anger was due to intense feeling of separation from Lord Neelamadhav. Please excuse my hostility as the ignorance of one also blinded by love.
Well, then,
Vishavasu maintains
wonderful.
an icy silence.
This is indeed a cause for rejoicing. Well, then, wonderful, wonderful. This is indeed a cause for rejoicing. I shall have to prepare a feast. Yes, let the whole village be invited. Who could have imagined such bitter rivalry ending in mutual satisfaction? Enmity transformed into admiration. Here is the proof of God's greatness, that he can accept the service of unlimited devotees and reciprocate perfectly with each. My dear Indradumna, even among the saints of this world, Your devotional fervor surpasses all, as the golden Mount Sumeru towers above the island of Jambudvipa and eclipses the Himalayas. Father-in-law, who can estimate your good fortune? Do you not feel joy at the prospect of having such a magnificent temple by your very door?
Joy? Yes, for you and your king. Myself, I am condemned.
Why? Why, good sir?
No, not sir. A king, yes, but of the low-born swineherds. Shall we be permitted to enter your temple?
Not my temple. It shall belong to the Lord of the universe, who counts all, from emperor to Shabra, as his own sons.
In the towns, untouchable like us are sweepers.
I shall consider it a great honor to be a sweeper for the Lord.
And I too. Indeed, I'll be happy to perform any service for my Lord. How kind he was to one of so low. He accepted this simple food from my very hands, fruits and vegetables gathered from the forest. Let me bathe him with his hands and massage his body with fragrant oil. How intimate our relationship was. Oh my Lord, my dearmost friend, why? Why have you forsaken me? Will it ever be like that again? Alone, the two of us, day after day, month after month, for years together, amidst the throngs of worshippers, served with such opulence and splendor. Will you still notice your Shabara friend? Oh Madhava! Oh Nil Madhava! Nil Madhava! Oh Nil Madhava!
My brother, please hear me. Neel Madhav is with you still. Only now he has entered deep within your heart and enthroned himself upon a golden seat of love, just as you have eternally endeared yourself to him. I have just heard Narad Muni glorifying your exalted devotion. Be consoled. By this knowledge, there is no question of actual separation for one whose love is as great as yours.
What is our Lord desire?
He will come as Jagannath Swami to shower benedictions upon all people of the world without distinction.
What needs to be done?
A temple worthy of his glory must be constructed to receive him. Rulers throughout the world must be informed that they should offer their wealth and their best sculptors for this purpose.
And I shall arrange for thousands of brahmanas to perform 1,000 continuous Ashwamedha Yagyas. I will ask the villagers to supply ghee from the best of their cows and ample grains from their fields. Knowing the Lord's desire, the ruling demigods of the various planetary systems will undoubtedly bless us with their presence and preside over the function. For this will be no ordinary occasion. The Lord of all creation is going to appear.
And what is our part? We Shavaras? Please order us.
All able-bodied men, women, and children of the village should help. We require huge quantities of stone for building. Where is the nearest source?
Bahumala, not far from here.
Then a road must be constructed from there directly to the Niladri forest. How glorious the day when we will see the Lord riding upon a chariot to the magnificent temple for his grand installation. Now, from this moment onwards, let us direct all our efforts towards the fulfillment of that goal.
Thank you. We come to the end of Act 4, which is the commandments of the drama of Lord Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Neel Madhava.